All right, Shabbat Shalom, y'all. Hope you all had an easy time getting here. Those roads are a little rough right now. Oof. All right, well, we're gonna get started with candle lighting. So I'm gonna invite Jan Carolyn up here, and that's on page 120 if you want to follow along in your prayer books. Clever.
Yes. Very good.
That's the way to do it.
Yes.
Penny was like, I have a baby too, so you can trust me. Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר Shabbat. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And then we invite the Mitra Bros up here. And we're moving to page 128. Oh, you're waiting on, brother. I got to stall some time. Jewish jokes. How many Jews fix a light bulb? We don't know. They're still arguing about it. Just thought I went up on the spot. All right, we're ready. Good. Okay. Yes. That's all I got, guys. Thank God you're here. Yeah. All right, we're on page 128. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה. On page 138. And together we're going to recite paragraphs 1, 5, and 9. When we arrive on paragraph 9, I invite you all to stand up and face the entrance as we greet the Shabbat bride. Lecha dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likra kala, Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Shamo
Shabbat nekabelah. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gan besimcha uv'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. לכבדותי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לכבדותי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לכבדותי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לכבדותי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
We now move into, oh, you may be seated, sorry. We now move into Shalom Alechem on page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachim l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Baruni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Tzidkem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu.
And now we move to the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144. Oh, this seems louder than usual. You guys didn't have vibe for this? Huh, interesting. Okay. Yitkedal v'yitkedash shemei rabba B'alma divrach chiltei v'yamlik malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon U'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uv'izman kariv V'yimaru amen Yehesh me rabba mevarach le'olam ulam me'almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha barichu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma v'himaru amen. We now turn to page 146. I invite you to stand for the Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
may be seated. Now we move to the middle of 148.
Umaviyom, umevi laila. Umavdil ben yom uven laila. Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam tamidim lo. Aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'aravim. Umaviyom, umevi laila. Umavdil ben yom uven laila. Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam tamidim lo. Aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'aravim. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya la la la, 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 ya la la la. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la.
I invite you to all join me on top of page 151 as we read together the English. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mysteries beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Now turn the page to 152 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malachuto Leolam Vaed. We now move to the Via Hafta, 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol avacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meyodecha v'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinartam levarnecha b'divarta ba'am v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'letecha havaderech ushofbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leyot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot beineinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vatzitem echol mitzvotai v'tem kiroshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti echem meretz Mitzrayim liot lachem leelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. We now move to the Micha Mocha on page 158.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please join me for the Amidah on page 164. When you arrive there, I invite you to stand with me.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi tehillatcha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi tehillatcha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Eloheinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Gonei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imavot, U'Me'Gidula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo V'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezra Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mekayeh Kol HaTorah V'Yoshina, Mashiach HaRuach Marit HaGashem, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mekayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofeh Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mechayeh Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Geburot, U'Midom Elah, Melech Memiv U'Mechayeh, U'Matziach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah L'Chayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. We will now continue silently until page 180. You may be seated whenever you like. Ose shalom bimroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael vimru amen. Ose shalom bimroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael vimru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Okay, now some words of Torah. Hopefully, my sermon doesn't get thunder stolen by some adorable child running around. We'll see what happens. So, as a parent myself, I've become a huge fan of literacy. It's, of course, of premier importance in Judaism. But as your child starts getting to be able to read like ours, it gains a renewed importance. And I'm really into literacy right now. We go to the library a couple times a month. We get tons of books out for my kids. I read to my children almost every day. And my son is starting to put letters into words. The other day, he read the word cat food. Big deal. We're all very excited about that. But when during this process of teaching my child how to read, we go into the subject of the difference between fiction and nonfiction. And he got it like pretty early, like almost like right away, actually, which made me like really proud. But it occurred to me that these two terms are incredibly unique and interesting in the way that we categorize essentially all of published writing. One term is fiction, and the other term is not that thing. Apparently, the concept of fiction is so central that anything that doesn't fit into that category is just nonfiction. And it says a lot about the way our society thinks of published writing. What if for some reason it was the other way around? Any work based on reality was called something like realism, and everything else is non-realism. It just feels wrong saying it. But I think that it feels wrong shows how much we appreciate the convention of fiction and nonfiction. So, of course, being a rabbi, I can't help but wonder, where does our Torah fall in these two categories? Binary categories are supposed to simplify our understanding of subject matter, but putting the Torah squarely in one of these categories can lead to a whole heap of trouble. But this is the perfect Talmudic exercise. You create a rule, and then you try to break it to understand its capacity. If we call the Torah a work of fiction, then we admit that nothing in the Torah is historical. Now, this understanding of the Torah was a real boat shaker about 30 years ago. And while we have recovered, there's some wincing thinking about the Torah as a work of fiction. And putting the Torah in nonfiction suggests that everything in the Torah is completely historically accurate. But scholarly research has proven that it's not to be a fact. Some things are not accurate. Our Torah is a text that defies our fiction/nonfiction convention. The way I describe fiction and nonfiction to my son was books that were not about real things and books about real things. but this definition was designed for a 6-year-old. I think a deeper look at this binary way to categorize is through the concept of truth. Calling published books fiction or nonfiction allows us to continue to understand both categories as being true. Fiction, while not representing history, physics, or any natural laws of our universe, can hold some of the truthiness truth about the human condition, about society, culture, or about our own imaginations. How people write and what people write about will always be infinitely engaging. And humanity engaging in writing is what makes it true. Same goes for our Torah. Our engagement with it makes it true. While the stories and laws within the Torah may, in fact, be a work of fiction, at least some of it, how those stories and laws shaped Judaism is nonfiction. The Torah doesn't defy these two categories. The Torah defines them. Torah as fiction is a truth to help shape me as a Jew, while Torah as nonfiction is a truth to help shape Judaism. But like a good Talmud scholar, I'm not done splitting hairs yet. While the Torah may define what it means for writing to be fiction or nonfiction, it's also a canonized work. In Judaism, that provides an extra value to what the Torah says, which may seem rather obvious considering how we store them. Our ancient scholars both held deep reverence for our Torah's hierarchy, while also changing it at the same time. For example, this week's Torah portion introduces us to Abraham. And there is this famous story attributed to Abraham where he destroys all the idols in his father's idol shop. And he blames the idol with a big stick. When his father says that's all hogwash, Abraham says, exactly. This story, while super famous, is not in our Torah. It comes from a Jewish work called the Midrash. And often people suggest this story is diminished because it's non-canonical. But if Abraham is a fictional character, then why should the Torah be the only Jewish work that tells his story? The Midrash added a legendary story to Abraham that, in my mind, is just as true as what the Torah says. And some would argue that the point of canon is that it comes from Sinai, that Moses received the canonical story of Abraham from Adonai. But that's the written Torah. It's also claimed that Moses received the whole oral Torah on Sinai as well. Midrash is considered oral Torah. In fact, oral Torah is still being uncovered to this day. And by this logic, Adonai told Moses that Orthodox Jews would not be able to use cell phones on Shabbat. The real question I'm getting at is that if I or any of you make up a story about Abraham today, would it be any less true than the Midrash or the Torah? I imagine if the story becomes true for Judaism because people engage with it, then yes, it's gotta be a darn good story. Anyways, in conclusion, if you want to hear me tell more Jewish stories, I do that every Sunday during our Sunday program called Shabbat Time Machine at 10 a.m. And you're allowed to come and listen to me where I write and deliver stories about Jewish characters, including Abraham. Thank you. We're now going to move on to the Misha Berach, our prayer for healing on page 371 of your prayer books. And in our own community, we're thinking about these members: Emily Weaver, Ginger Spiro, John Johnson, Jackie Artischek, Pat Victor, Janice Breeze, Ross Rumack, and Philip Kaufman. If there's anyone who you are thinking of this evening who is in need of healing, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your hearts.
Nisheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberak imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We now turn to page 587 for the Elenu. What have you turned to page 587? When you arrive on page 587, I invite you to stand up. Oh, that's 387.
Oh, sorry.
Yikes.
I'm trying to be there. It is.
Oh, my gosh, perfect.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekin l'aleoser b'reshit, shehu samelchem l'chedek shemo, v'ro'enu l'hamlik matuto, v'anachnu horim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, l'ifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We now turn to page 591. We gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love to each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz b'yom hahu yihei Adonai echad u'shemo
We now turn to the Mourner's Kash on page 598. And in our own community, we're thinking about these yard sites this week. Lillian Karen, Abraham Klevinsky, Sidney Clevens, and Hyman Levine. If there's someone who you are thinking of this evening or morning for, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your hearts. Zikrunon Livracha, the memory be for a blessing. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. B'elma divrach kriyote v'yamlik malchute. B'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'chayei lechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman kari v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarak le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitzbarak v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yipramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shemeda kudusha barichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'miran be'elma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemayim. V'chayim aleini v'yakol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom v'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Okay, you may be seated. Announcements. All right, so right after services tonight, we have Oneg in our multi-purpose room over there. So you're all welcome to join us for that. And then tomorrow we have our Exploring Liturgy class at 9:30. And then we have our morning services tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. I think that's it for tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we have religious school at 9:30 with Shabbat Time Machine at 10. but you're welcome to come if you want to experience it. And then we have, let me think, morning minion at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday on our Zoom room. And then on November 12th, we are having our first adult B'nai Mitzvah session here at CBS at 9 a.m. And then on November 13th, we are having our mitzvah mall from 12 to 3 p.m. here. There'll be music, there'll be animals, all kinds of fun things and all kinds of great causes to give to. I think it's good for announcements. Did I get everything? Did I forget anything? I feel like I got it this time. Dang, I'm doing good. It's only been like 5 years I've been doing this. Yeah, we have, but election, yeah. Not only that, but election day is Tuesday, and also I believe it's daylight savings on Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday. I know, right? Killer. Fall back. Yeah. Is that how it works? 12 and 1? Oh, one twice, huh? Well, I'm not going to be up to know that, so. Yeah, which is great when you don't have kids, you get extra sleep, but your kids get so confused by that, you know. Gosh, we should start to figure this out now, Leah. Oh man. Okay, anyways, I think that's everything for announcements. You guys are seriously looking for a closing melody right now? You got one. Which one is it?
Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav. All right, great. What page?
178.
All right, 178, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lekol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shabbat shalom, y'all.